Okay. Oh, yes, thank you. All right, so Miss Windlass and Miss Beltowski let me know that they would not be able to be here. Miss Dyroff, do you mind taking, being our secretary for the night?
Steven, no.
I was doing that
Just
earlier.
making sure, right? Okay, yeah, absolutely then.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Anderson,
Present.
Mrs. Dyroff, present, Mr. Leaning,
Present.
Mrs. Stevanovic. Mr. Wall.
Present.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Thank you. Okay, first up, adoption of the agenda. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education accepts. Was that you, Derek? The October 15th, 2025 agenda as presented. A board member may request an item be removed from the consent agenda to superintendent's recommendations. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Derek Wall,
Support.
supported by Trustee Anderson. Any comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff, yes. Trustee Sterlini.
Yes,
Trustee Stevanovic.
Yes.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
motion carries. Item 5 on the agenda, public comment. Do we have any public comment on agenda items only? Public comment? Public comment on agenda items? Seeing none, we will move forward with superintendent's report. First up, we're going to kind of switch the order a little bit. Mr.
Yeah.
Finance?
Yeah, so we're waiting for the gentleman, John Ringling from Manor Corston. He's on his way here. He's a little bit behind. So I'll just jump into the building and site sinking fund, okay? And then he'll be here and then we'll roll, okay? He's just caught in traffic. He texted Dr. Gitzinger, and so we'll go as soon as he arrives. So I just want to take a few minutes, and I'd like all the board members to stand up and move out so you can see the screens, please.
I'm Mark Klein, Superintendent of D7 Schools, with an important message for our voters. Look for this card in your mailbox that explains the November 4th Building and Site Sinking Fund renewal. The key word here is renewal. This is not a tax increase. If approved, this will generate approximately $1.3 billion each year for 10 years for necessary improvements at our 6 school district buildings. This money can only be used for projects, not for salaries. Over the summer, this fund has paid for significant upgrades here at Bedford Elementary, designed with safety in mind. We've separated the student play areas from the parking lot, and we've streamlined drop-off and pickup, and several new game courts and fields. And our bears will enjoy this all-inclusive, state-of-the-art playground. With these dollars in the past, we've had air conditioning at Marty Elementary, Hope Elementary, and the Annapolis High School auditorium. This renewal will help keep our schools safe, up to date, and maintained for years to come. Please vote on or before Tuesday, November 4th. Thank you for supporting D7.
We tried to get a famous athlete to do that, but Barry Sanders wasn't available. So the video that you just saw, we put together, John Zadikian and myself did that video. That's on our website right now as we speak. We'll be getting that out and sending that out. Also, these mailers went out, so you should have received your mailer in the mail. This kind of explains, and it goes right down the list. The thing I like about this best is it lists all the projects that the Building and Site Committee recommended as part of this process. So these mailers are going out, or they're already out. They've already been delivered, and they should be in mailboxes. I did leave extras if you want to take these and share them with your friends, or share them, put them in places where you think people will see them. You certainly could do that. Then we also have on our webpage 2 additional flyers that have been sent around, and they're in the buildings. We've had them at events. If you would like extra of those, they're over here. These were put together by the folks at K-12 Media, so they assisted with this. I really like them, especially the one that shows the Bedford playground, but I also like this one that has students, because really that's what this is all about. Also, we got a helping hand from Virginia and Pat, who are here in the audience as part of our committee. They set up a meeting at the senior center that I was running a little bit behind. So Scott was there as well, and I walked in and I was truly amazed with his presentation and talking to the seniors that were there. And also Pat and Virginia did a great job explaining how this is so important for our schools, and that we're going to be mindful of the dollars and cents and keep an eye on the pennies as this goes through, as we always do with our audits and, with that work. So I want to thank them for setting that up. I want to thank Scott for carrying the conversation until I was able to arrive. But we're getting the word out. Hopefully, people understand it's very positive for the school district to keep the momentum going, number one, of all the good things that we've done so far. And number two, you almost hate to go the other way, that if this doesn't pass, but you need to tell folks that if it doesn't pass, the sinking fund dollars are pretty much, we've used them for the projects. And if something goes out, then, you're using general fund dollars. So it is critical. It's important to keep the momentum and all of the great things that we've done for the district. But I just want to take a few minutes and show you the video, show you the handouts. Please take what you need. Please send them to your friends, talk to your people that you know, and hopefully we'll get a number of folks out to support D7 on Election Day. Are there any questions? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yep. And then Dr. Gitzinger just stepped out of the door. Perfect timing for her. So she'll come back in just a second.
Should we take a 5-minute? Or?
Nah. Okay, so we do have the financial audit presentation. Mr. John Ringling, am I saying that correct? Ringlock, Senior Manager at Manor Corston, and he's here to present the financial audit. He did present this to the building and site, recommended that we move forward with this presentation. We do, we do have the minutes from that meeting. If you want to take a minute and go over those first, it's up to you guys.
Do that and give them a minute to do what they're saying?
Okay, very good. Mr. Wall?
Okay. So the Finance Committee met on October 8th, which was a Wednesday. We met at 3:30 p.m. In attendance was myself, Trustee Dyroff, Trustee Beltowski, Superintendent Kleinhans, and Dr. Gissinger, and then Jonathan Ringline from Manor Custodian, and Consterison, and he was via the Teams call, so he was by video. There was nobody that was not present that was missing. Old business, we didn't have any old business to review. New business was mainly on reviewing the 24-25 audit finance report and to discuss a date for it to come to the board review. Discussion was introduced by the business manager and the audit firm, and what basically was on a short term was that we were not able to finalize the audit because there is one part that's receiving funds from the federal government that we have an excess of $750,000 that we received from the government. It's called the compliance supplement, and the government has not completed that, so therefore there's no way we can complete our audit. So discussion was whether submitting the audit for final submission in November with one single audit pending, once again due to the government not having their portion completed. Upon more discussion, it was agreed upon to have it presented today at today's board meeting, with the goal on the next board meeting, November 5th, to have on the agenda for seeking approval or awareness of the audit that's being presented today. And just wanted to be noted that while we are doing this so the school board may have awareness for the transparency, the audit, no matter what, would be submitted whether we accepted or denied the audit, because it's an audit. It's not something we can change. And other business was discussing about monthly financial statements, and that it was agreed, or Superintendent Klein has agreed that that's something we could get into our board packets once a month, and that June through August would not be provided, as there's usually minimal financial movement during the summer months. There was no public comment. The next meeting is to be determined, and we adjourned on the same day at 4:45 PM.
Okay.
Any questions?
Any questions or comments?
In front of you are the financial audits, statements for September. And then so at the next meeting, we'll get October's.
Okay. All right. All right.
Dr. Gitzinger, are you ready to present the audit? Present our speaker on the audit after you've just taken a bite of cake?
All right. Perfect. He's got some. Excellent. Thank you. So Mr. Much, can you pass to?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So we'll have the presentation up on the screen, but we also have the slides in front of you, same data there. So yeah, we met, oh, sure, thank you. Yeah, we met with the Finance Committee and kind of discussed, it was a good summary of what is occurring this year. So obviously we had the risk of October state aid being on delay, which with the state budget, that was passed, thankfully. And then we also discussed the fact that that compliance supplement is still pending. And for context, we usually will get this in May. And so that is still on delay. That's at the federal level. That's the State of Management and Budget, or the Committee of Management and Budget, I think, at the federal level. And once that is finalized, we can then submit the other half of the audit. So with the new budget, they slipped in some language that essentially stated that we can submit the financial statement audit and have a timely November state aid, which is great. So November 1st deadline is still in effect. And then once that compliance supplement is finalized, 30 days later, we can submit that side of the audit as well.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Can everyone hear him? Okay.
No,
I didn't think so,
sure.
because
I
it's
can-
kind of low coming towards
yeah.
us. One second.
grab a-
Sorry about that.
is this my mic here?
Yeah.
Perfect. Is that better? Looking good? Perfect. Yep, I can do
There
this.
you go.
Perfect. Yeah.
There you go.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
No, so long story short, it is just a different year with the, uncertainty at the state level and the federal level. And so we're submitting the audit in a timely manner to get November state aid. And the financial statement audit will be prior to November 1st. And the single audit with the CFA, the Schedule of Expenditures of Federal Awards, will be after November 1st. So first slide is just a title slide. Next couple slides are a little bit about our firm. A nice picture in there of myself, I think, too, which is cool. And then the important slide. So we have the audit results. So your financial statements had an unmodified opinion this year. And I think that's been typical. Last year was our first year on the audit. And prior to that, you had one. And really what this means is that the numbers that were presented to us during the, right at audit time are effectively numbers that you see in the audit, right? And so if there were any adjustments, Maria and the team had the skills, knowledge, and experience to make any of those adjustments. So what is presented in the financial statement audit is free of material misstatements. So there are numbers that are materially correct for the year. So kudos to the team for that. Internal controls. We also have an internal control letter that will be submitted on the second component of the audit after November 1st. We don't do any testing of internal controls, only over the federal awards, but there were no material weaknesses identified and no significant deficiencies. And so what this means is that there's adequate controls in the district to ensure that, bank reconciliations are done by separate people, cash receipts, cash disbursements, and payroll all have checks and balances within. The second column is our compliance for major programs. So that's that single audit we're discussing. And we had an unmodified opinion on that as well. The major programs that we did have to test this year were Child Nutrition Cluster and the Special Education Cluster. And really, you had, I think, material weakness 2 years ago. You need 2 years of clean audits to be at 20% coverage on our federal awards. So we had to still hit 40% this year. But with 2 years now where you have had clean, no material weaknesses and no findings on your major programs, next year you'll be a low-risk auditee and only require 20%. So slightly less cost, probably only one program with ESSER being off the table now. And then no findings related to federal awards. We also will issue a governance letter to the board, and that's just standard language. If there was anything significant that needed to come to your attention, we would put that in that letter. So we're happy to report there is nothing of significance to report. And then last year, you had a management letter related to excess fund balance in the food service fund. You went forth and submitted a corrective action plan to MDE, and that has now been resolved. So that's why it's on slide. There is no letter, but that's a good thing. We don't have that to give out anymore. The next slide is your balance sheet of the governmental funds. And this looks a little different than last year if you were to compare notes. Last year, I believe we just had the general fund, a bond fund, and the non-major funds all together. With the bond fund being fully spent and dropping off, the sinking fund and the general capital project fund ended up being large enough to be a major program. So they're required to be shown on the front of the financial statements. So really, in a nutshell here, this bottom line is truly what's important. This is the fund balance. So assets less your liabilities and any deferred inflows or unavailable revenue. So the fund balance is really what is available next year, right, for use. On the general fund, we have about 8.1 million in fund balance. Sinking fund, about 1.7 million. And that general capital project fund that was established last year, about 2 million remaining. And then on your non-major governmental funds, it's your student activity, your debt, and your food service, we have about 1.1 million. And these are, for context, summarized on pages 16 and 17 of the audit, summarized data there. The next slide is going to be your statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. So this one's much more important because this is how did we get to those fund balances, right? So this is your income statement for the audit. And on the general fund side, we had revenues of about 41.5 million compared to expenditures of about 46.2, which rounded out a decrease in just revenues and expenditures of 4.7 million. We had some financing sources that came in from the food service fund and proceeds that get us to about 178,000 of additional. So really your total change in the fund balance about 4.5 million. So that brought us from 12.7 million fund balance last year to about 8.1. And what metric the state uses is a percentage. So what is that fund balance percentage? So that is your fund balance that we talked about as a percentage of your total expenditures for that year. So last year you were around 31.58. And if you compare to the state and Wayne County, they were at 24.7 and 38.3 last year, because that's all the data that the state has. And really, all fund balances across the state were going up due to COVID. We have the ESSER funding that you could supplant, which is kind of a gift from the federal government. Typically, you cannot supplant federal funds, but that was more or less, we had a pandemic and we're influxing money to stop learning loss and try to get back to pre-COVID, right? And so that money has been fully spent as of 9/30/2024. That's nationwide. That's when that deadline was. So no more COVID funding. Fund balances will likely start, going the other direction back to about pre-COVID times. So you're at 17.59. The recommendation is to be between 15 and 20. So you're right in that zone. So a good place to be. And then we talked about the fund balances of the sinking and general fund or general capital project fund. So about 3.7 million that can be spent on capital items in the district. The following slide is your budgetary comparison schedule. So this is taking those actual numbers we talked about with the general fund and comparing them to what you budgeted. So original budget is passed right at the beginning of the year, right? So right around 7/1/24. The district projected a loss of 4.3 million, and the final budget projected a loss of about 4.5 million. So that's a year later. So pretty similar thought throughout the year on where you'd land. And in total, you were within 24,000 of that number. So pretty spot on as far as budgeting. So, kudos to Maria and her team and obviously the board and the finance committee for discussing what was going to happen during the year and being pretty darn accurate. And that is a summarized data from page 53 of the audit. And then the next slide is more or less just a breakdown of your revenue in the general fund. And so a majority, as you can see, comes from the state government. And then you do have federal funding and property taxes make up pretty much the majority of the rest. And that federal piece of the pie has, and you'll see on the next slide, has slowly decreased over the last couple of years, really due to that ESSER funding. And so next year, and going forward, that federal should be, well, with some of the cuts at the federal level, could actually decrease a little bit, but should be more or less consistent. Next slide is revenue in the general fund, a 3-year trend. So as you can see, you were between the 35 to 40 million mark in 2023, 2024, just over 40 million, and that thick orange band there is the federal funds. So that was the bulk of ESSER 3 spending. And then this year, just over that 40 million mark. And as you can see, that orange bar slowly diminishing because we had about 3 months of that ESSER funding in this year. The next slide is a breakdown of your expenditures. And pretty simple buckets here, but the largest ones are instruction and support. And really the key here is the instruction funding is your elementary, middle, and high school. It's your additional supplementary or compensatory education that we call it, special education, Title I funding. And that is essentially all, money going into the classrooms. So you're at 63% of the funds going to that. And then the remainder, support, capital outlay, and other. And what does that mean? We compare to the state averages again, right? So state average about 57.6% last year. So you're above that. So that's good. You're seeing your money go to the right place. Next slide is another 3-year trend, just on the expenditure side this time. So as we can see with these bands, you're pretty much been hitting that 55 to 60% mark over the last few years. The big change here, obviously with an increase in revenue comes an increase in expenditures. That's how that goes in the governmental world. But one change was last year there was additional capital outlay, which is that gray band at the top. The gold band is the capital outlay. Your gray band there was the movement of funds to your general capital project fund, which is to prepare for future capital needs of the district. And then the second to last slide is our fund balance in the general fund, a 3-year trend. So as we talked about, we were at 38% in 2023, 31% in 2024 with the ESSER funding that was coming in the door. And now we're to the 17.5% range, which is right in the middle of that 15 to 20 that is recommended by MSBO. And for context, that recommendation used to be 10 to 15%. And due to the COVID funding, they actually increased it to 15 to 20. So you're still in that higher echelon, if you will, on the fund balance. Last slide is just some highlights about the year. So again, really just reiterating that 17.9% being in that range of recommendation. And then we also did have footnote 13 is going to be about accounting changes and error corrections. It's what the GASB is called, GASB 100. Not an error, but if, like we talked about, the general capital project and sinking fund move from non-major to major, we have to basically highlight that in the statement. So that's what that is. There's a restatement for that. And then we also had a restatement for compensated absences balances. And that's only at the government-wide level. And what are compensated absences? They're what someone might get once they leave the district, right? And in the past, that was only calculated by the number of days you have times the amount they will get paid when they leave, right? And if someone doesn't hit a certain threshold, say it's 10 years, they would just be zero because there is no, there's no liability tomorrow. Well, the GASB board went together and said, there's got to be more to it than that, right? There is a likelihood that someone that's only here for a year might make it to that point or make it to retirement age. There's also a likelihood they're going to use some of those days while they're still working. So some of that had to be built into the calculation, which ended up increasing that balance and decreasing the overall net position. No fund balance effect at all. This is really only at the government-wide level, which is where you have your long-term assets and liabilities. Next year, we have more GASBs coming, so that's always fun. GASB 103, financial reporting and model improvements. That's really going to change your MD&A structure. It's going to standardize it a little bit more, add some additional variance analysis requirements, and then slightly change the budget to actual to actually compare the original to final budget as well. And then GASB 104, disclosure of certain capital assets. That's just going to expand some of the requirements for what we had in the past couple of years, which was for leases and SBITAs. So that's that GASB 87 and 96. So kind of just tagging on a little bit of extra disclosure for that. So nothing significant that we expect. 103 will likely be significant, but we'll work through what that means with Maria and the team as we get closer to the next audit period. And then last slide is just me saying thank you once again for having us as your auditor. And we really appreciate the partnership. So any questions that I can answer?
Have any questions? Trustee Wall?
Yeah,
I just had one. Okay. I just had one question.
Gotta scoot closer.
Yeah, earlier was like two. Okay. I just had one question.
Sure.
With the fund balance, you were talking about the MSBO said 15 to 20% because of the ESSER funds.
Yep.
Now the ESSER funds are gone. Do you expect that number, they're going to bring it back down?
I do wonder about that. We had a discussion about that at the firm as well. I haven't heard anything specifically on it. I do think they'll probably want to see what that effect is, right? Like they've always talked about the funding cliff coming. So it is possible that, you'll start to see quite a bit of decrease across many districts in the state, and they could potentially roll that back, but at least right now you've shown that you have some funds for, unexpected things, right? I mean, pandemic was completely out of left field, but you never know, right? And the fact that we almost had October and November state aid at risk, right? I mean, so just being ready for uncertainty is the key, for sure.
And do they like put that out at any particular time?
Yeah, I think they usually will, around like the May timeframe. That's when their big meeting is, or their big conference
Okay.
that they have. Yep. So like April, I think is their one that they have in Grand Rapids, and then they have one in Lansing in May. And so they'll probably have an update there based on whatever data was put forth in the FY25 audits. So, because they're like a 1-year delay, just when the state compiles all their data and puts that out there, then they can compare. And that's the data we're using when we're showing you the numbers. It's based on last year's, just because that's what the data is out there. So,
Thank you.
yeah, for sure.
Anyone else? All right, thank you.
general
Go
comment, yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, just a general comment. So I have this in my points of pride, but I'll do it now. I'm very pleased with the work that the Finance Committee has done and the work that Maria's done. And having you come in and explain everything is very helpful. I'm pleased that I know it's a weird term, but an unqualified audit, right? That
Sure, yeah.
there are no issues that came to light during the entire audit. So I just want to thank Dr. Gissinger, Lorraine Lynn, who's our payroll person, and Andrea Lopez, who's our accounts payable, and their work on the audit. And I also want to thank your firm. When I first arrived here, there was an auditing company that came up and did the audit, and not one time did we see a number or a figure. And I just really like the way that you put out the dollars. Here's what we have. Here's where the money's going. Here's how it's spent. And then also in the board packet is a breakdown of all of the entire audit. So understand that we're waiting for the federal government to get the other piece completed.
Yep.
But I do want to thank your firm, and I certainly want to thank our finance team and the board members that are on the finance committee. I think we're in good shape. So thank you.
No, thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
that.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Great job, finance team. All right, next item. This a little closer. On to superintendent's recommendations. Item A, non-certified staff appointment, exhibit number 1 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education accepts the non-certified staff appointments. Alexis Wolf, position independence paraprofessional and for Polk, effective date October 6, 2025. May I have a motion?
So moved. So moved.
Moved by trustee Wall, supported by trustee Anderson. Any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Dyroff, yes. Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Stevanovic?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item B, certified staff resignation, exhibit number 2 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education accepts the following certified staff resignation. Steve Gary, position Director of Operations, effective October 14th, 2025. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wall,
Support.
supported by trustee Anderson. Any questions, comments? Go ahead.
So as you guys know, and if you looked at Steve's letter, he has taken a new position, so we wish him the very best of luck. In the interim, I'm running the department with the help of Pat, and so we're rocking and rolling. We'll make a decision moving forward about that position and what it looks like. We may look at a little restructuring, so we're looking at kind of a lot of different options with that, but we certainly want to thank Steve. I don't think that Steve's expertise was the heating and cooling. The unit that we put on the high school in the one computer lab probably wouldn't have happened if he had not thrown himself at it, investigated, and determined what the situation was with there. And of course, that's when recommendation came to you guys. You approved the new unit, and that issue is resolved and fixed. So we just want to wish Steve the very best.
Thank you. All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Sterlini?
Yes.
Trustee Stevanovic?
Yes.
Trustee Wall?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff, yes.
Motion carries. Item C, Polk Elementary Young Fives and Kindergarten Field Trip Request, exhibit number 3 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education approves Young Five and kindergarten students to attend Lake Erie Metro Park, Marshlands Museum, and Nature Center on November 6, 2025, as presented. May I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by trustee Stevanovic,
Support.
supported by trustee Anderson. Any questions, comments? All right, roll call, please.
Is it Stevanovic?
Stevanovic.
So I've been saying it wrong all along. You said it was okay. It's
Well, she did say it was okay.
I thought I said it wrong, so that's why I kind of.
Stevanovic.
Oh, no, she's saying you. Roll call.
Yeah.
Stevanovic, okay. Trustee Wall?
Yeah, me.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff, yes. Trustee Sterlini?
Yes, motion carries.
Stevanovic. Stevanovic. That's all I'm going to be saying in my head. Stevanovic.
Item D, second reading of proposed new revised and reissued board policies, exhibit number 4 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education approves the second reading and adoption of proposed new revised and reissued Neola board policies as presented. Policy 1400, job descriptions. Policy 1420, school administrator evaluation. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wall,
Support.
supported by trustee Anderson. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff, yes. Trustee Sterling.
Yes.
Trustee Stefanovic.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
Good.
Motion carries. Item E, Annapolis High School Title I purchases, Exhibit number 5. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education approves the purchase of 222 Chromebooks at $281.27 each, the Google Chrome Education license at $29.50 each, 6 high-quality Epson laser projectors at $1,688.72 each, and 46 Hovercam document cameras at $359 each. The total price is $103,634.32, and the monies will be derived from Title I funds. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wall,
Support.
supported by trustee Anderson. Questions, comments? Mr. Kleinhans?
Questions? Comments? So this plan is approved by our Title I consultant. So Title I app goes in. Before it goes in, we have our state consultant approve it. So all these purchases have been approved for the high school.
Okay. All right. All set. Roll call, please.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff, yes. Trustee Sterling.
Yes.
Trustee Stefanovic.
Yes.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
Motion carries. There is a typo on, I don't know if that matters, but there's a typo under Lisa's name
I saw that.
with an E. Makes a difference. Okay. Item F, Annapolis Athletic Department purchase, Exhibit number 6 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education approves the purchase of a new wrestling mat for the varsity and JV team. The price of the mat is $10,900 and would be equally funded through the athletic budget and wrestling activity account. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wall,
Support.
supported by trustee Stefanovic. I probably said it wrong. Oh my gosh. Questions or comments? Trustee Wall.
Do we know what's going to happen with regards to the old man it's replacing?
Yes, so very good point. So there's two mats. The one will go into the wrestling room, and the other one will either be, it's in rough shape, so it will either be donated or if they can parcel it out and use it or possibly sell it, then that's what they're looking at doing. But it's in rough shape.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff, yes. Trustee Sterling.
Yes,
Trustee Stefanovic.
Yes.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
motion carries. Item G, Go Guardian Beacon Core License Renewal, Exhibit 7 in your packet. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education approves the renewal of Go Guardian Beacon Core License for the district to maintain proactive safety monitoring and ensure continued support for timely staff intervention in matters related to student well-being and safety. The annual renewal cost is $13,156, and monies will be derived from the general fund. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wall,
Support.
supported by trustee Anderson. Questions or comments? Mr. Kleinhans?
Yep, I would just add that this is a very, very important piece to us helping monitor where students are going. If students are going to sites that would flag, then we're alerted immediately and we can intercede. If they're, searching for some things that may be inappropriate or even some things in relation to, for example, self-harm or that kind of stuff, then that alerts and allows us to intercede. So this is a pretty important part of our technology and monitoring our students for safety purposes.
Any questions with that? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Dyroff, yes. Trustee Sterling.
Yes.
Trustee Stefanovic.
Yes.
Trustee Wall.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Oh, sorry. The motion carries. Any unfinished business to come to the board? Unfinished? Anyone? All right, moving on. New business, bylaw 0167.3, public comment at board meetings. So, do we want to discuss this now since we're missing 2 board members? Table it for next time? What's everyone's thoughts?
It doesn't matter to me.
I just know it needs to be discussed, but Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody wants to start discussing now or wait till when everybody's here. It's,
Maybe it's best to wait.
Or start it and
Okay.
see where it goes.
Okay.
And
All right. Do you want to go ahead?
Yep, so I can lead into this. So we added this per discussion at our last meeting about what public comment looks like. We did make some revisions on this, and we want to make sure that this is matching what it is we're doing. And so I put the policy in the board packet and just kind of open it up for discussion about, if we need to make some adjustments, we can get it to the policy committee meeting. We're meeting again in 2 weeks, I think it is, or I think next month. Yes, 4 weeks. So that's why I wanted to put it in the board packet for discussion. And again, we can start talking about it now. And if we can continue it, it's not really an action item. So in terms of removing it or putting it on, we can leave it on the agenda for next meeting as well.
Trustee Dyroff?
So, yeah, I'm the one that really brought it up.
Nope.
Thank you for that, but I am the one that brought it up. And my thing is that if we as a board are going to interact, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
You can't hear me? If we as a board are going to interact individually with the audience, we want our board policy to reflect that. And that is what happened at the last meeting. There was some questions asked, there was some discussion back and forth between members in the audience, and generally it's fielded, it's supposed to be according to policy, fielded through the president. And as board members, we do have the opportunity to ask questions afterwards of the superintendent, but not interact with the audience. And that has been because sometimes it may not always be a good subject. It may not always be someone coming forward with something good to share with us. So once you start that, you just need to understand that leaves it open for any one of us to, have words with anyone that's up there. So I would hesitate to do that, but I just wanted to bring it forward so that we could discuss it and make sure that we all understood our policy and that we align our policy with what we want. I'm not tied to that, but if that's what everybody wants, as a committee, we can take it back and readjust.
Anyone want to go next?
yeah,
Trustee Wong?
oh, thank you. The thing I wanted to mention was that I've noticed that sometimes what's happening when people are coming up to speak, because, the first thing is the purpose of the board meeting is it's a business affair. It's not a info meeting, it's more business affair associated for school board business. And so there's many things that are brought up that we as a board aren't even really supposed to be handling, but we will still listen. But one thing I noticed at some of the meetings is that whoever's coming up to speak is also interacting with the audience. And the next thing you know, we're really kind of sometimes losing control of what the purpose is of the public comment. So as Trustee Dyroff was saying, I think it's just something that if we're going to do something related to policy, we need to follow it. If we want to change it, as you were mentioning, then let's, change it, but let's make sure we're following policy and we all have the same rules, so that way it's not each week, it could potentially be something different. And as as Trustee Dyroff, who's chair of policy, as she has mentioned, there have been times of heated things, and I've been on board long enough that I've seen some of them, and it can get pretty bad. So, granted, a lot of them we've had have been really nice, but it's one of the things that if we start, I don't know, as much as I'm sure there's a lot of people are going to shun me, I'm sure I liked it when it was, you didn't have to necessarily reply, or if you did, it strictly was only the president or the superintendent, because that avoided just the chance of anything else being said that later on you're like, ooh, I wish I didn't say that. Not pointing fingers at them, I'm just saying in general. So that's just my thoughts on it.
I'd like to also add, it gets confusing too, as to is it just your opinion, or are you speaking on behalf of the board? That's why it's generally just the president that speaks. But again, if the board consensus is that we're going to open it up and everyone's going to be able to say something or ask questions or whatever, that's fine. I just want to make sure our policy is correct.
Trustee Anderson, did you have anything to say?
I do not.
Okay. Trustees, you guys are good? Okay, so I will say, this was on me. This was my fault. I don't know what became
There's
of
no
me
fault.
that day. Well, no, I shouldn't have done it. I will say that. I don't know if I got caught up because everybody was here. It was exciting. We actually had like a big audience, or in my brain, I was thinking, oh, we had like a teacher or an admin here, like they were presenting, and I don't know what, I make no, it was my fault. I shouldn't have engaged. So I agree with the policy. I don't think it needs to be changed. I think it's been going great, and it should go through the president, and, you know, whatever we can say, yes, we can answer you, sorry, let us know, and you know how it is. Yeah, that was totally me, so. But I'm good with leaving it. I don't think we need to change it. So, all right. Do we think we need to bring this back though for the other two, or we can bring it in like other business next time maybe instead? Let them talk about it then, or just leave it as is? Any thoughts, anybody?
Well, I think there's 5 of us.
Right.
So there is consensus, but I
Right.
don't think it does one bit of harm to bring it back and ask their opinion as well,
Right.
because they may be able to change a point of view if they felt strongly about it otherwise.
Right. And I'd like to have everyone
Absolutely.
try our best
Something
to.
on this.
Yeah.
To be 100% behind our policies is
Right.
what I like to,
Right.
so.
Okay, okay, so we'll try to bring it up next time. Okay, perfect. All right, thank you for bringing that. I appreciate that. All right, next, district points of pride, Mr. Kleinhans.
Yeah, so I got a number of things to report on this evening. So I already talked about the financial team and very pleased and proud of the work that they're doing. Just a quick construction projects are winding down. I don't know if I'm proud or happy.
Relieved.
Or both, or relieved. There you go. The basketball and Foursquare areas are completed at Pardee. Kids are out there playing, apparently after hours. There's lots of kids out there playing, so I think that that's great. The final step in that project is the new awning installations. And so, as you guys know, we had to order a new set for above the one set of benches. So as soon as that comes, we'll get the company over here, get those up. At Bedford, the new awnings are already installed in the outdoor classroom area. We're waiting for the new picnic tables. And then if you drive by there, there's still what's left of the red fence. There's 2 small dirt piles that are sitting kind of next to the basketball court. That dirt needs to be moved over into the obstacle course area, and then grass seed needs to be put down on that construction road. They were waiting to make sure that Little Tykes was completed with all of the work and the cement work was completed, which they did this past weekend. And so that's wrapping up, and pretty excited about that. Once they get the dirt moved, then the company comes in and puts down grass seed, and we'll get that taken care of. And then, as I had indicated, the final step of that is the obstacle course. That could take a bit. The equipment's been on hold in manufacturing, so that's why I said we might want to just go ahead and, if we can pull everybody together at some point and meet over there and do a quick photo op, I think that would be a great opportunity. So at Madison, talked to Deb today. The students in GSRP are doing very well in class. You know, they started a little bit later than everyone else, and their program is moving along. So she was quite happy to report that those little ones already have the routine down, and they're doing very well. At Bedford, this is from Marcy. She said, I would still like to highlight our outdoor area at Bedford. The outdoor classroom area is nearly complete. Those are the awnings. We're waiting for the tables. The staff is excited, once those tables get there, to take students outside for lessons and use it as a reward area for lunches as well. And then this is interesting, kind of goes through with Pardee as well. Our playground is always bustling with kids, even in the evening hours. As you guys know, Marcy works over quite a bit, and she says that when I leave, I see many families up here enjoying all the amenities. We couldn't be more happy with this project. So what's left over there basically is the part that I talked about. Then the picnic tables that are at the football table get moved over and get placed by where the Foursquare is for the larger kids in that area. And so once we get that done, then would just be waiting for the obstacle course. So pretty excited, as you guys know, I'm pretty proud of that entire area. But I'm glad that it's not just being used during the school day. It's being used as a community event. So that's really great. Good news. At Pardee, they're refreshing the PBIS program and have included, among other details, positive offices referrals, which have been a huge success with students and parents. I happen to be coming in to Pardee this afternoon, or I think it was this morning. It was this morning. I was coming in the doors, and the little kids were just coming out of their assembly. They had a student assembly, student of the month assembly, and the teachers were raving about how well behaved the kids were. The one teacher said, this seemed like this was like our 5th assembly already because they were so well behaved. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it was their first one. So good on those folks. At Polk, this month, the dentist hearing and vision testing will be offered to the Polk students, so they're organizing that and getting that ready to go. OW Best, their football players and cheer team celebrated family night last week on Wednesday. It's a very nice night for the team as they shut out their opponent. Thank you to Tina Doney and all the coaches for making it a great night. Their math team has implemented the iReady math curriculum. It's going very well. The curriculum is rigorous, but has many opportunities for personalized learning and differentiation. So key part of the math process. And then the National Junior Honor Society is collecting food items for gleaners. And the school Halloween skating party is tomorrow at United Skates. So that's pretty cool. The high school, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. We were talking about FAFSA and a policy, but college application week was last week. The counseling department did a great job. The kids had a great time. They enjoyed having so many colleges join us during the week. So good opportunity for the high school students. At athletics, at the Wayne Memorial Invitational for swimming last Saturday, Ella, who we had here last week for breaking the school record, Irvine beat her own school record again in the 100-meter breast with a time of 1:14.95. This qualifies her to compete at the MISCA, which is the Coaches Association meet this coming Saturday in Holland, Michigan. Nice. And this event is a tremendous honor to even be allowed to come to it or be invited. So good for her. Also, Levi Foster earned all-conference medal at the cross-country meet yesterday, setting a personal record and qualifying him for the regional. So we certainly want to congratulate him. In the virtual program, the 10th and 11th graders are going to the high school for the PSAT, the pre-SAT testing on October 15th. In school safeties area, if you go into Cheryl's room at Madison, it's nothing but boxes and nothing but assembly lines. So the safety fund dollars were released, so she uses that money each year to update our safety bags, and she's getting them ready. Safety supplies have come in and packaged up, and they'll be given to staff and put in their go bags for emergency purposes. So we'll be upgrading those. In the maintenance area, the lights have been installed in the entry to the Cheercop field. It's made a huge difference. If you're there for one of our evening events, it's light. I mean, that area is really lit up. Party parking lot has been striped along with their basketball and their Foursquare areas. We're going to do some tree trimming at the high school, and then we're going to remove that tree that was damaged during the storm at Mayfair Field. And we want to make sure that it's kind of half there, it's safe, but the same company that's coming in and doing the tree trimming. What we think is happening at the high school, we're getting some bugs that are coming in, and we think that the tree limbs go right up to the window and over the roof, and that can damage the roof, and the sills are starting to crack, and we think we're getting bugs coming in. So we are going to do some tree trimming there, and while they're here, they'll take care of that tree. And then we're still awaiting the delivery of the new cafeteria tables. It's the logos. I finally just told the guy, send them to us. Logos or not logos, just get them here, so that we want to make sure that we get good use out of those tables that were very expensive. So in the tech area, Reese is providing us with free part-time tech interns until December. They've been assisting with additional coverage and tech support throughout the buildings. In the curriculum area, they're doing learning walks. They've begun this year. Learning walks are an opportunity to visit school buildings to observe teaching and learning in progress. Last week, first grade Polk classrooms were visited. And it's not an evaluation, it's none of that, it's just to observe the teaching and learning and what's going on in the classroom. So, special education, thought I'd have Scott go ahead and report.
Thank you, Mark. I'm very happy to report that the district has hired a well-qualified and experienced early childhood special education teacher to replace Rose Monty, and she'll be starting with us this coming week. And I just wanted to make the board aware, you may have some awareness of this, but this year we are dealing with a number of high-need special education cases involving disability-related behaviors throughout the district. And we are doing everything we can to handle each case with compassion and understanding, and to work as partners with the parents to provide the very best educational programming and support for the children.
And I know Scott spent a lot of time on that and trying to support general ed, special ed, and dealing with that. So I certainly do appreciate it, and time and effort with dealing with that. So just want to thank everybody for supporting D7, and hopefully as you get out and about and talk to your folks and your people, please talk about the election and the renewal of the Building and Site Sinking Fund. We'll continue to get information out and send information out. So hopefully that we have a successful election and we can continue with the progress that we're making in the district.
Okay, thank you for that. Other business, board committee updates? Any committee updates? Ms. Trustee Dyroff?
Yes, the policy committee met this evening. We had with us Eric Weatherwax from Neola, and he gave us a volume 40, number 1 update, and it was pretty extensive. And through the course of the conversation, we have come to realize with the review of our policies that at some point, when we hired Neola, we gave them all of our policies and they put them on the system. Well, whatever year that was, the policy was, say, for example, a 2000 policy. That is the policy that's on there. And so then if it was updated in 2009 and we didn't have Neola yet, that's not the policies that's there. So we're coming to understand why some of our policies seem so outdated is because they just haven't been put on the system and come before the board yet. So we're in the process of the 2000s right now. And it was a really good meeting. We're going to take those that he brought, and Mark is going to compare them to what we have in our system now and what we have as a board. And then make sure that they either align and that we get them correct, and if there's any changes that we get those updated. So in the future, a lot of policies will be coming to the board, I'm sure of it. We then talked about policy 0167.2 closed session, and we want to add a procedure at the bottom of that so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle, whereas if there's a closed session for a student hearing, from 6 to 6:30, board members will be allowed, and the parents allowed, to come in and review the information prior to the meeting beginning at 6:30. We talked about that at the closed session hearing before the last one, just because we were all confused. Were we supposed to come in? Weren't we? So we thought if we put the procedure in that then it would be clear, and for future board members as well. So that revision and that policy will come to the board on the November 5th meeting. As well as 2 more policies in programs, the mission statement and the vision and belief statement. I pulled those from the strategic plan, the current strategic plan that we have, and I've updated those, and Mark's going to put those in for November 5th as well. We all were given the 3,000 policies for leisure reading, and back to 2000s though, staff is still in the process of reviewing those policies, and those will be coming to us in the future, in piecemeal, probably not all at one time, I hope. And we will meet again on November 19th at 5:30 here at OW Best, and I'll send a written update to the board.
Right, thank you. Anyone else?
Question, did you say leisure reading?
Uh-huh, I did.
Trustee
Yeah, I
Wall?
just had one question on the closed session
Yes.
part. Is it more like a half hour before the meeting? Because I know you said like 6 to 6:30, but is it timed or is it more like a half hour before the meeting?
We did put 6 o'clock. We put 6 o'clock to 6:30 is 30 minutes to come in and, you know, so that no one was coming in beforehand,
Right.
you know, because we want to make
So
sure
I just
staff's
didn't know,
there.
are all those closed sessions going to be at a set time or? is-
6:30.
That's
Remember,
what I'm
I
wondering.
think
Okay.
that weren't you the one that said that you can't make it before 6:30?
Yes, but I didn't know if that was automatically going to be that or if that's just, you know, like would one maybe be
Right.
6:30 or one might be 7? That's why I was wondering.
Well-
I was just wondering. I didn't know. So
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm, that is a good point.
'Cause I didn't know,
Especially
like,
because is that the
families.
time that you can make it 6:30? Or is that the time, so you wouldn't even be able to be there a half an hour beforehand to read the materials?
I might be able to get like 10, 15 minutes before.
right.
which, you know, that would be okay.
Right, because it's not like you have to be there at 6. You can come at 6:15 if you're a
Right.
fast reader.
But I just didn't know if it was wrote into policy, like set times.
It
'cause that is
did, it
policy.
did.
Whereas what happens if a family member?
Whoever wants the
Can't
meeting
come in
at
till
7.
Right.
Yeah.
then- So that's what I'm just
Good
wondering.
point.
Yeah.
We'll take out the time, so let's think about that. for a
Half
minute.
hour before
Yeah.
set meeting time.
Half an hour before set meeting time. That's a good idea. Thank you. Everybody agree with that? Good point.
Just
Yeah,
thought-
because it is pretty much set when a parent can make it.
Right.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else for upcoming board meetings? Any committee board meeting updates? No? Okay. Other business, I'd like to mention tomorrow is Bosses Day. Bosses Day. Tomorrow, I was also told, happens to be Mark's birthday. For those of you who didn't know, tomorrow's Mark's birthday.
Happy
So I don't know if everybody,
birthday.
let's sing happy birthday to Mark. Should we embarrass them or no? Are we gonna do it or not?
Those of us that can't sing.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll come tomorrow.
Well, I'll
wish
just
happy
wish you a
birthday.
happy birthday, Mark. How's it?
Happy birthday, Mark.
That'll be perfect. Not that you're embarrassing me already.
All right. On to public comments. Yes, sir.
Just because it's on here, finance was mentioned during superintendent's.
Oh, yes, thank you. Finance was mentioned. Thank you for that. All right, public comment number 2. Step up, state your name and affiliation, please.
I guess I'll be really, really fast, and I have 3 things. Oh, I'm sorry, Virginia Morgan. Say what else? Nothing? Okay. My street? Oh, okay. Huh? Now, it's buzzing though, isn't it? Okay. Okay, I have 3 things. The first one is, in case someone's looking or someone talks to you about how much money is in the sinking fund, this is really important that you point out that the 1.7 million was of June 30th. And I know that you're going to get you're going to get a report very soon about how much is actually left, less than 100,000. And so when we went to talk to the seniors, we had to make sure that if they were to investigate and look at our fund balance in our audit report or hear that, oh, well, there's 1.7 million. So I just wanted to emphasize for those who are watching on TV or might talk to you and say, well, why do you need the money if you have 1.7 million? We don't. It's less than $100,000. And number 2, at the senior program, also there was a suggestion about the solar stop signs, and that someone should go up and talk to city council. So I thought about going, and I know that other people on the board have gone to the council meetings and asked of it. But it kind of dawned on me that someone had said something about, well, the school district hasn't even mentioned it to us. And so what I'm asking is maybe one of the people that was there said, did the cost is approximately $1,000 to get the solar stop signs that flash. after dark. And so it dawned on me that perhaps the Board of Education from District 7 could send a letter or some kind of resolution requesting that, and I don't know if you want to say 4 elementary buildings, if you want to say all of our buildings, but at $1,000 apiece, and I kind of figured 4 corners, and if they would just provide at the elementary schools, then that would be $12,000, or is that right? It's 4 times 4 is $16,000. And I know the city's broke, but you know, there's money from Taylor. I was told that they have the solar stop signs in every school in Taylor, and they have every stop sign in Dearborn. And the only little pocket that does not have the solar stop signs that flash is Dearborn Heights. And I know they're working on the walkway in the north end for the Crestwood Public Schools, but I just saw a letter or resolution stating the immediate need for these solar stop signs with winter coming on, that it would be more impressive than one person just coming up there and saying, you should buy stop signs for our school district. And so that was my second appeal. And number 3, I have 1 minute to say this, and I don't know how to say this. For those of you who don't have a history with board public comments, there were times when someone from the public could come up and talk, and the answer was, we don't answer questions, if you can believe that the board didn't answer any questions. And then it kind of went to, we addressed the board president, and if she didn't know the answer, then she would say, we'll get back to you. And sometimes they would get back to you in a week or a month or 6 months or a year or not at all. And I think what you're doing now is working, and so I appeal to you to continue that. But how it really works is if the board president doesn't know the answer, then she would say, pass that question on to the superintendent, and perhaps he knows the answer. If none of the administration knows the answer, then you can address a board member and say, would you like to respond to that public comment, but you have to go through the board president, and she has to recognize you and that kind of thing. But I'm telling you that you're all doing a great job, and I hope that it doesn't change and you still will answer or listen to people. And anyway, those are my 3 concerns tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Going once? State your name and affiliation, please.
Of course. Hi guys, Barb Young. Okay, so I was not able to attend the PAC meeting mistakenly because they did not send me the link, but I will be at the next meeting because it's in person. So yes, I definitely plan to attend. But they did send me a flyer. It's for the Father's Autism Support Group. And I would love if you guys would share it with the schools so that it could be shared with the families. What else? Let me see. Oh, and also if there's anything happening in our district, please share with me so I can so that way I could be able to share with them next month when I go to the meeting. And also, Wayne Risa, they're willing to come in and do any kind of trainings. So please reach out to them, because we are in desperate need of trainings, all kind of trainings. So please reach out to them, and they would love to come in and train, please. What else? Now, please let our security guards know that they are welcome, they are awesome and needed, but tell them to keep their hands to themselves, okay? I let it be very known that my son is on the spectrum and that he's going to run when he hears that bell. And if he feels like he's late, it's going to cause him some type of some sense of anxiety. I let it be known at the beginning, before the school year even started. I let it be known what he was going to do. So that way the school could know what he was going to do. The locker thing, was going to cause him some anxiety. Because if he's going to have, because if he felt like, oh, I'm going to be late for class, it was going to make him run. So that's exactly what he did. He took off and ran. What did that security guard do? Grab my son. Let them security guards know to keep their hands off of my kids, okay? I wasn't pissed. I didn't come up here like a raging animal or anything. Yes, but I'm making it very clear. Tell the staff to keep their lovely hands to themselves unless they are breaking up a fight or someone is in danger, okay? Their words are enough. My son is not deaf or anything like that. A clear, hey, no, stop running would have sufficed. Okay, let's do that. Next, the BSU is called Black Student Union, right? Yes, it is. I'm working on my second child that is going through the Black Student Union. The person, Dr. Prince, don't tell me not to use a name because it is worth using a name right now in this case. This will be the second time she has told my child, another one of my kids, to quit this program because they chose to stand up to her and her nonsense. Communication is key. If we as adults are going to lead by example, that's what we are supposed to do, lead by example. So when my ASD child took it upon himself and do what he was supposed to do and went to that breast cancer walk at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning, got himself up like he was supposed to, that leader, that adult, was supposed to do the same. And if the event was canceled, you should have sent out proper communications. So then when my son approached you, you should have took accountability, not searched all over the world to not take that accountability. Then you were not supposed to bring another teacher in there to make my child feel like he was ganged up on. That'll be the second time that this has happened. So can you imagine how an ASD child felt by himself, who's still working on communication? I want to thank Mr. Millett, who was there when he got out of that room and he went searching for a safe space. Thank you. So let's work on those things. Those kinds of things are dangerous, and I just want to bring those kinds of things to you guys' attention. When you're in those staff meetings, I want you to work on those kinds of things, okay?
Anyone else for public second comment? Anyone else? All right. Seeing and hearing none. Kudos. Do we have any kudos? All right. We'll start here.
I have a kudos to Carol Alexander from Nancy Gorham and Becky Bola from 10/9/25. Carol always comes to the rescue in a timely manner when urgent tech help is needed. She is professional and never makes us feel inadequate when we can't fix something ourselves. We appreciate all of her help. Thank you.
Is it Lefevre? Allison?
Lefevre.
Lefevre. Okay, I should look at it as almost like a typo and I'll get it. To Allison Lefevre and Victoria Gargosoulis from Nancy Gorham, October 9th, 2025. They put in a lot of effort to create a staff website with all the information we could ever need. It is so helpful to have what we need all in one place. Thank you.
Thank you.
To Party PBIS Committee, Alex Bastian, Deanna Boheim, Stacy McLaughlin, Jenny Rahaman, Madison Emery, Jessica Martin, and Heather Kilgore. From Don Lipinski, October 6, 2025. Our PBIS committee began working at the end of last year in an effort to refresh our PBIS program at Pardee. They worked very hard and over the summer to come up with some great new ideas for the monthly PBIS rewards, including new ways to redeem Pardee Pride tickets. While this initiative was spearheaded by Deanna Boheim, it was a total team effort to incorporate the changes. The staff has brought into these changes and the students are excited. We have even started using positive office referrals where teachers send a student to the office for the principal to make a positive phone call home. This has been a huge hit with the parents. Alex Bastian, Deanna Boheim, Stacy McLaughlin, Jenny Rahaman, Madison Emery, Jessica Martin, and Heather Kilgore truly embody what it means to be part of the Pardee family, and they have made a huge impact on our school with their hard work. Thank you for all you do. To Brian Sturgeon from Susan Surma, dated 10/14/2025. Thank you, Brian, for always being our Mr. Fix-It. We can always depend on you. You get the big and small jobs done for us and our office quickly and skillfully. Your smile and pleasant attitude of "we will get it done" is very much appreciated. Our schools and the children have truly been enriched by your efforts.
Thank you.
To Caleb Foster from Daniel McElhenney, dated October 10th. Always being so helpful, thorough, and quick. He is an invaluable member of our special ed team. To Jacqueline Sarvo from Daniel McElhenney, October 10th. Being so helpful with our kids who are trying to make up credits for graduation. She goes above and beyond to help.
Thank you. All right. All right, on to adjournment. Be it so resolved that the Board of Education adjourns the meeting at 8:17 p.m. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Dyroff,
Support.
supported by trustee Stevanovic. Roll call, please.
Trustee Sterlini.
Yes.
Trustee Stevanovic.
Yes.
Trustee Wall. Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Dyroff.
Motion carries. Thank you, guys. Have a
Thank
good
you,
night.
everyone. Take some extra flyers, please.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.